So Tyler the Creator just apparently dissed Playboi Carti after he threatened to sue him over a verse he gave him. Yeah, this might be a weird beef, it might be real, it may be not. We've got a lot to cover today, so let's just get straight into it. So in the October of 2024, Tyler the Creator released his album CHROMAKOPIA. Now on the version he put out on streaming platforms, Carti was not on the project. However, on the vinyls, he was. Well, on the first test pressing versions he was. He had a verse on the song Thought I Was Dead. Now, why Carti was only on the vinyls was probably because vinyls can take like weeks or months to make. So they may have originally planned to have Carti on the album, but then something happened. Like for example, Carti pulled his verse, so they just cut him out from the version on streaming platforms because you can, of course, just change the file. But on a physical vinyl that is already produced and has taken weeks to make, there's not much you can do about it. We see it all the times with artists such as Travis Scott who have songs or features missing from their vinyls due to last minute changes. So at first, no one really thought it was a big deal that Carti was missing from the album, even though he was on the vinyls. Because we all know Carti is quite picky with giving out features and dropping music, or well, at least he was. So no one really thought much of it until recently, because just a day or two ago, around the 12th of July, Tyler would tweet out, "An old friend of mine I've made music with threatened to sue me over a feature they gave me, so you don't ruin the narrative." I mean, it's quite clear what Tyler is saying. One of his old friends, old collaborators, said they were going to sue him due to a feature they gave him in the past. And at the end of the tweet he said, "So y'all don't run with a narrative." Now, it didn't really make much sense to me why he said that at the end, because the fact that he's not telling us who it is, people are obviously going to come to their own conclusions, meaning narratives are going to be made. Anyways, not only that, on the Clips album that dropped on that same day he put out the tweet, he said the lines, "Little feature, fella threatened to sue me, tell your lawyer to set the fee." Now I think the tweet was after the album came out, so he was trying to kind of clear up the situation. But yeah, obviously one of Tyler's old friends tried to sue him for a feature they did for a song. Now of course, he didn't reveal who it was, but a lot of the rap pages such as CHROMAKOPIA started posting that apparently Tyler was referring to Carti and obviously dissing him, which kind of makes sense. Carti and Tyler have made music in the past, as Carti featured on Earthquake from Igor back in 2019, which is a crazy song that matches up with what Tyler said, that an old friend. And of course we all know Carti is a very weird individual. He often doesn't clear features for rappers, and you know, we've seen him do this loads of times before. Most recently with No Face, Drake ended up dropping the song about Carti. With Trippie Redd, he featured on his exclamation point album on the song Afraid of You. Like, the song dropped normally, it was out on streaming, then like the next day the song was gone. No one really knows why, but fans speculate that it was because Carti didn't like his verse and kindly asked Trippie to remove it. And even on Mansion Music, Carti was supposed to have a verse, but it never ended up making the final album. Oh, and actually the perfect example of this would be Young Lean and Yayo. If you guys didn't know, Carti did a verse for Young Lean back in like 2020 I think it was. It dropped on vinyls but never made it to streaming. Young Lean said, "Carti, it was his label that removed the verse cause politics, not me or him." Again, we really don't know why. Like, sure, Lean said it was his label, but was it? Or is that just what Carti told him? Now, this is exactly what happened with Tyler here. The verse was on the vinyl, but never officially released on streaming. Did Carti tell him, "Yeah, I'll clear it," but then ended up ghosting him? Or did his label block the feature? Well, of course, we don't know what exactly happened or why they were removed, but it's clear this is a common problem with Carti. Here are some of the fans' reaction to this situation with Tyler. Carti lame as hell, a cease and desist is for hoes, gayest beef of all time bar none. Oh yeah, and I actually forgot to mention that CHROMAKOPIA and this other page said that Carti actually sent, or Carti's team sent, a cease and desist. I don't think I mentioned that, I only think I said that he was like suing him. But yeah, he's apparently sent a cease and desist to Tyler the Creator over the inclusion of his verse on the CHROMAKOPIA vinyl release. Basically telling Tyler they're not allowing that verse to be released to the public. But then a lot of fans started doubting that this was actually aimed towards Carti, the Tyler diss. or really the whole situation is kind of fake. Because firstly, the source this information came from was this page called No NDA Network, who have recently blown up for like revealing a bunch of insider music industry secrets, drama and stuff like that, kind of like a gossip expose page. And they posted saying like Carti threatened to sue Tyler and Offset for trying to release his music or his verses without getting official clearances. So firstly, people are just doubting it because obviously these pages don't have the best reputation. And secondly, Carti actually performed at Camp Flog Gnaw, which is a festival hosted by Tyler the Creator. So it's basically like his festival, right? So that kind of disproves this theory that Tyler dissed Carti because after the album dropped, well, he was performing at his festival. However, some fans on Twitter are saying here, his performance was trash, he only turned up for the money, he came late and had a short set, clearly showing us he didn't really care about putting on a good show at Tyler's festival. But then there's videos online of Tyler literally vibing to Carti's set and singing along. So yeah, you see why people are doubting it. But that was like 8 months ago now, and Tyler only spoke up about it now in the July of 2025. So maybe Carti's team only sent in the lawsuit or the cease and desist recently, or they sent it after the festival. Here this fan said, "That's fake, Coco just reposted what No NDA said, LMAO. Carti didn't send a cease and desist. Tyler literally posted music this year and his verse on the Clips track isn't new. That album's been in the work for over 3 years. The newest verse on there is Kendrick's, and even that one is over 8 months old." I mean, I sort of agree with this. I don't think Tyler's verse is old though, because it's missing from the vinyls of the Clips album, meaning it was probably recorded very recently and they didn't have time to press it onto the vinyls. Yeah, it's definitely a weird situation. Like, I just don't know who else Tyler could be talking about, you know? And let's say Tyler was sent a cease and desist, I doubt it would actually be from Carti himself, or like Carti ordered it himself. I feel like it would be more so of his label, and from what we've been told recently, Carti doesn't have the best relationship with his label. For example, on his album Music, he supposedly actually wanted to have Drake on the project, but his label didn't let him because it didn't approve with their interests, which was basically because Kendrick was popping, he was the more hyped up artist, Drake was being slandered as a PDF file. So 3 Kendrick features would of course suit the label better and Carti's album. I'm seeing people from like the Tyler subreddit say it might be about Ye, this guy named Hodgie, who is the founder of Odd Future, and really just a lot of other artists Tyler's worked with. I don't know, let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below. Really, the only source we have for this is some random insider news page, who really only blew up around a week ago, but apparently have got like 1 or 2 things right, so they are sort of reliable. I mean, I don't know why Tyler even put out that tweet saying like don't run a narrative, but like you didn't tell us who it could be aimed at, so now people are making a narrative because we don't know who it is and we kind of have to guess. And of course it makes sense why this would be Carti. We all know he records features for so many people, but when it comes around to actually letting the artist release these songs, it's always like Carti didn't clear it, or Carti isn't responding to me, stuff like that. We all know what Carti is like, just a terrible and selfish person. So it wouldn't surprise me if he recorded this verse for Tyler. Tyler probably presumed he would be allowed to release it, or Carti maybe even told him he can release it. They started making the CDs and vinyls, whatever, a couple weeks before the album drops, but then probably like a couple days prior, Carti turned around and told them he doesn't want to be featured on the album, and his team sent Tyler a cease and desist. The only thing that doesn't really make much sense about this is why we've only heard of this so late. Like, surely they would have sent the cease and desist around the release of the album. So then how come Carti performed at Tyler's festival if they had that whole kind of legal situation? But now that I think about it, even if Carti's team sent Tyler a cease and desist, let's say a couple of days prior to the album dropping, well, Carti was already booked to perform, so I don't think they would really want to cancel him because they would have to replace him, and I'm pretty sure he was headlining, so they would have to cancel him, try get their money back somehow, and then like what, get a replacement, which will be very hard to get. Like, you can't really replace Carti. And yeah, it just doesn't really make much sense why he would do this. That's the thing that I'm confused about. He's done a song with Tyler before, and Tyler is a huge artist, so it would only really boost Carti. And this was prior to music, so you know, the extra hype and attention would help him. And a Carti feature would also bring a lot of streams to Tyler's album. Not that he needs it, of course. I'm pretty sure this album sold like 300k first week, which is of course crazy. I'm just saying, this was back in like 2024 where Carti verses were a lot more rare. The album released just a month after All Red, which got something crazy like 8 million streams on its first day. So yeah, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, I just don't really know why Carti wouldn't allow the verse to drop. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Did Carti block the verse from releasing, just like he did with the likes of Trippie Redd, Young Lean and so on? Or is this entire beef fake and just misinformation? Honestly, I'm pretty split. We know Carti loves to do this stuff, but at the same time, Carti and Tyler seem like good friends. Carti, I think, was even like a big fan of Tyler growing up. His early music was actually inspired by Tyler, and even Tyler is a fan of Carti, sort of. He has tweeted about Carti's lyrics like this one here. When Carti says, "Brought a crib for my mama off that mumbling my eyes water up every time, it's beautiful, that's black excellence." And he even said them at the BET Awards while shouting him out. Hey, I mean, it may have just been his label. They didn't let Carti feature on Yayo or let him put Drake on his album, so maybe his label is making the boss calls. Or is Carti just hiding behind the excuse of his label because he doesn't actually want to tell people that he doesn't want to drop music with them? I don't know. I don't want to continue talking about all of these theories because really, it's just pointless. I could be here all day. We all know Carti's a terrible person, so Tyler is probably right in the situation, and he probably is dissing Carti. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.